Alrighty. Hello guys, welcome back to the letter. So I have some great, wonderful news. So, as you know, we left off on this one last, the one that's red right now. I made an hour-long video yesterday. And it got canceled. Deleted. So, and there was no audio in the video. So today, I'm back. I'm going to start off where I left off last time. Honestly, the urge right now to just tell you guys what happened and then go straight to where we left off would be my bet. Because honestly, I don't feel like re-recording this whole video. I really hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Basically, what happened was that Rebecca had talked a bit with Ash, and then she went to the party. But she went to the Ermengarde mansion with and then she had gotten there. Then she saw Ash, and then her and Ash kind of had some problems because Ash had to go run off and do something for his chief. So we're not sure exactly what happened there. And then she met Hana, and she's known Hana. Hana remembers her from when she was a young girl, little Becky. Hana's my favorite character, by the way. Zach, Hana, Isabella, and Becca are my favorite characters. That just leaves Luke, Marianne, and Ash. I'm not a big fan of Marianne. I hate Luke, and Ash is iffy. But basically, just kind of telling you guys very simply what happened. I am so sorry that it was my fault on my end that the audio did not record on that video. So that video sadly won't be coming out, but a lot did happen. And, it sucks when you have all this footage recorded and then it just gets corrupted. So, with that being said, welcome back, guys. We're not going to be the reason I'm doing this is because people who are watching the series, I do just want to give you a recap of kind of what happened. Like I said, there wasn't really a lot enough to really worry about. Becca's still kind of getting, still thinking about what Luke said about her and Ash. Her crush is only growing bigger. We find out, actually, there was a little bit of a lore drop that she has had a crush on Ashton since she was, 5 or 6 years old. Which is crazy. It's been a while, that means. And, also Hana, which we knew this from a while ago. But Hana, I'm just gonna kind of, reboost your memory. Hana was actually tutored by, Becca's parents when she was younger. Alright, so let's get right into Becca's story. Load game file. Hana. Oh, yeah. At one point, maybe I would easily agreed to that. However, the past weeks have also seen changes in the way I view things. As nice as these things sound, it turns out whatever I previously know may not even be true for other people, or for myself. It is sobering and almost funny how things I might have said with much certainty before now has doubts muddying each of them. Yeah, she's having doubts kind of about her and Ashton and all that stuff that's happening. Really, there's doubts. She's also kind of having problems with the letter again, and you'll see that more this episode. But there will be a time to mull about these later, because when a hush suddenly descends in the room, a whole different issue rears. Especially when Luke, effing Luke, strides into the now quiet ballroom, fashionably late and oozing with the same pompous me and he always carries around with him.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party. I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
You're very late, Luke, right? You're very late. Before long, Hana leaves my side to join him, and it doesn't take a genius to piece it all together.
Welcome, one and all, to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served.
Wow.
Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
Why are people clapping? That sucked, guys. Luke sucks. His attitude, the manner he carries himself around people, his unfamiliar, you know what, I'm not even going to try to say it, with the part of the city. Of effing course. I should have known. Although I'm partly at fault here, tabloids and the gossip columns have never been really my thing. I should have also expected that whoever Luke Wright is, some sort of drama will follow. Oh, wherever Luke Wright is, some sort of drama will follow. He seems the kind of person who revels in it, figures it'll find him on its own, even when he's not asking for it. It happens amidst a round of applause. Oh yeah, I remember this. Y'all remember this too. Y'all should remember this. It all happens amidst a round of applause and hoots that people lagging behind the crowd they've gathered does not catch on, until the cheers turn into several scandalized gasps.
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
Oh, drunk woman.
God damn it, Luke. I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johannes, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours.
Jesus, alright. Also, there was just a mention of Johannes. Where has Johannes been?
Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby? Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Why do you keep saying baby? Twin, you're not that drunk. You're not drunk enough. The commotion doesn't go further, despite the drunk woman appearing like she has plenty more venom to spill. In a little while, security shows up, escorting her out. Apparently, she's the chief inspector's wife, too. As if this whole thing can't get any more fricked up than it already is. What a mess. But the damage has been done, and beyond the repercussions this will bring, I'm more worried about Hana. Maybe Luke, too, in part. I've seen the man that hides behind his self-importance, and it is someone who cares for the person who stands beside him. No matter how questionable that is now. After all, no anger is worse than that of a scorned woman. And Hana, well, as refined and well-mannered she is in front of their guests, I'm not sure if she'll be all willing to tolerate this. Her party, her home, her husband, and that woman has just dared to walk over it. Yet, when I glance at her, there's only defeat, a weary slump on her shoulders, and a certain depth to her breathing. Like the fight has already been drained out of her long ago. I don't know since when this has been going on. I don't know either of them well to judge for myself. I'm simply an outsider who happens to have some kind of connection with both of them. But the air of a person who wishes for respite, it's all too easy to see in her, as she quietly watches the commotion carry on around her. In a moment, before I can think it through, I'm pulling her to the side and waving Zachary over to us.
Becca, this is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hana. Did I not?
Yeah, you did.
Immediately, this air of familiarity between them catches me off guard. I won't put it past Hana. Her standing in society compels her to keep appearances, the be nice to everyone sort of thing. While Zachary's growing client base sometimes calls for rubbing elbows with the rich and famous. Although, from the way it appears, this one seems to go beyond maintaining a facade or work. I wonder how this friendship came to be. I'd ask, but we're standing to attract some curious eyes. Most of them are probably searching for some more gossip, something to add fuel to the fire. Thankfully, there's no need to explain it to Zachary. He's aware of the situation all too well.
So, this is what you called me for? We gonna get Hana out of here?
That'd be great.
Soon he's leading the three of us out of the ballroom. Anyone who dares speak or approach on our way out, I shut down with a sharp glare. And a few steps we're out, away from the commotion and the suffocating tension. I don't stay long with them, though. Even if I want to, Ashton's still somewhere in that crowd. I've got to go back for him at least. No matter how much the idea of that alone sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. I just want to say, it's been a while since we've seen these stairs. Scary.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah? Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right. Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Besides, it seems Zachary can handle this without another person helping out. In fact, for some reason, I've got this strange impression I might be intruding on something if I elect to remain. Better to entrust with someone and she's comfortable with. And though it might be a little inappropriate considering what has transpired, a smile worms its way to my lips as I leave. Good on them, I suppose. Chatter has exploded throughout the whole ballroom once I return. Worried murmurs, clicking off tongues, and inappropriate gossip filters through the thick tension in the room. Most of them haven't even left the premises and they're already talking about it. Tomorrow it'll be on the news for sure, in every local broadsheet and tabloid in Bucksport. No wonder Luke's knee deep into damage control. With the scandalous woman gone, he has turned his attention on the media covering the event. Although so far he isn't faring well in the cleanup department.
Now, people, we all know the drill. I'm sure you're all itching to get a start on those articles.
Good thing Zachary isn't here. Can't imagine a man of his temperament dealing with someone like him.
But if I read one word, see one picture about this come morning, even a single shot of the bloody wine glass the harlot held, you will all lose more than your jobs.
Luke's diatribe goes on for another few minutes, after which he excuses himself out of the area. There's a brief lull, a reluctant pause, before the place comes astir again, but shortly the buzz returns. Dancers are once again taken to the floor and their guests' excited talk begins anew. But I couldn't care less about any of this now. Simply standing in the middle of it already gives me a headache. When the shock has faded, I just feel bone tired. I've accomplished nothing of what I've come here for, and apparently Ashton's disappeared sometime during the commotion. I'm not sure what pisses me off more. That he ignored me the whole evening and might have just left without saying anything, or knowing he obviously has some other motive for being here. Can't he at least trust his own friends for that?
You didn't have to hide it from me.
It's the last straw. No longer in the mood, I grab my bag and head out, more than ready to end this disastrous night as early as possible. As it turns out, the night isn't done with me yet, because no sooner has the porter closed the door behind me, I find myself standing alone in the foyer with one Luke Wright. No sign of Hannah or Zachary, just him and the agitated clicks his shoes make while he shreds around the empty room. Away from the media's prying eyes and their guest-judging stares, it's easy to glean how much this scandal has him shaken. Not to the point where he has utterly lost his composure, he appears to have mastered himself enough not to, but an ample opening is there for a nervous edge to show on the lines of his shoulders.
What do you know?
The man is not as tough as he makes himself out to be. Sure, I've seen this before, briefly in the 1 second in the hallway at the school. It's a strange matter, however, to witness this out in the open. Behind closed doors, this is the real Luke Wright. Though maybe that's because he hasn't noticed my presence yet, busy as he is with his thinking. If he's aware, I doubt he'll be acting like this. His pride is one thing he will always wear with him. Even now, when I place a gentle hand on his shoulders and he whirls around to face me. There's a second long movement of anger flashing across his features before it dissolves into confusion. He tucks it away as quickly as he can, but it does nothing to change the impression I build of the man in my head.
Daisy, must you be everywhere?
We've only met 3 times, Luke. Quit the dramatics. Besides, shouldn't you be aware of who gets invited to your party?
If I was, there wouldn't be any of that scene tonight. That munter wouldn't even get an inch within this property. I'd bear off Luxport if I could.
He probably pawns everything off to their servants and Hannah. Yeah, I don't think he does a single bit of anything around here. And to be fair, it's Hana's house. Like we learned this, even though they're married and all that, it is Hana's house. She like, we figure out kind of, and this is I've always had this kind of theory that Luke was, and I can't remember if it actually got like proven, but if that Luke's kind of like he wasn't that popular or rich until he met Hana. Like, I think we actually figured that out at some point. Pompous, elitist, douche.
Did you just come out here to lecture me about it? Because, Daisy, I can already feel one coming tomorrow. I don't need to hear one from you tonight.
You are a very unpleasant man.
So I've been told. Will that be all? If so, I suggest you go back and join every bloody goss in that room.
Not everything. An unpleasant and frustrating talking with this man. He deserves the benefit of the doubt, at least. The questions and criticisms aren't lacking, of course. But right this instant, there's only one thing that comes to mind.
Is there some truth to it, then?
To his credit, he does appear extremely offended and repulsed by the notion. His mortified expression alone answers the question, but I want to hear it from him, even if he takes nothing short of a derisive tone just to answer that.
Daisy? Oh, Daisy. If you believed every scandal that came along, I'd have 100 children already. Do me a favor and give me a break. I get enough of this false shite from the tabloids.
Well, I'm sorry for asking. I just wanted to hear it from you, douche.
And now that you've heard it, does it change anything?
No.
Are we going to start seeing miracles now? A solution to poverty? Pigs flying in the sky!
Is some friendly concern such a hard thing to comprehend for you?
He pauses at that. Suddenly he doesn't know what to do with his hands, and in the end he simply stuffs them back to his pockets and sulks. I'm not too shocked it has caught him off guard. There probably aren't many people who tell him that. He's a difficult man to get along with. Zachary probably won't want to be anywhere near him, despite the man having the patience of a saint. Seeing as what he said to Zachary, that made me hate him even more, by the way. I would not. Ashton he can tolerate, maybe, though I highly doubt he can keep it up with Luke. Dealing with him requires more than patience. It's a huge mystery why I still bother. When the awkwardness passes, mostly coming from him, he merely glances away.
Maybe. I don't need your stupid friendship.
Good heavens! I really want to ask how Hana's able to deal with you.
He's interested, I can tell from the frown he shoots my way. He's likely wondering how I've ended up knowing her. I'd humor him any other day, probably tease him about it and keep him guessing just to annoy him if I'm in a good mood. But my own patience is nearing its end. After Ashton, after the whole fiasco here, and now him, he won't even answer my own questions properly. Why should I answer his? Moreover, there are other matters more important than that. His martial problems, first and foremost. His attitude follows right after. Concerns aside, I can't help with those. Those are things only he can fix, and it's definitely not by standing around here. So with a slight wave of my hand, I end up right there and walk away from him. Although I can't resist the urge to glance back before I leave, if only to have one last look at the man he really is. But the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it. Looming, hovering over his shoulder. Dude! Oh, dude. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame. Like the first time I've stepped inside this place in search of Isabella. He was there too, wasn't he? That man along with his wife and another person, Miss McCullough. And that shadow. No, a woman now. Her no longer a dark blur. Terror rushes through every vein in my body. Crippling sensation gripping every part of me while she stares at me and with a glare filled with nothing but hate and venom. It's like staring at the eyes of a woman I've unknowingly robbed of something precious. I try to say something, a warning, but before I can gather my wits and voice it out, someone shuts the door behind me. As if it keeps outsiders away from the secrets this mansion possesses. The brush of fresh air against my cheeks does little to dampen the chill in my bones. By now, the sensation, the fear, and disquiet, it leaves whenever I see her, is familiar enough for me. Already it has made a home in my nerves. I don't even notice my trembling hands until I cross my arms across my chest. The cold from the tips of my fingers seeps through the thick material of my shirt. Neither of it helps bring together some semblance of coherent thought in my head, but I know. I should.
Someone has to tell that douche.
I start walking back before fear can cripple me again. It's not wise. Returning that is especially after what happened. But Hana's still an old friend, and Luke doesn't deserve whatever misfortune that letter might bring. I can't just leave those two in there. Isabel's right. She's real, and there's nothing she wants from everyone who has read that.
Becca, where'd you go off to?
If you're done here, let's go. I'll get you back to the city. My mistake. The second his voice cuts through the crisp night air is that I've allowed my annoyance to get the better of me. Fuming, purpose forgotten, I whirl around and march towards him. One accusation after another piles up at the tip of my tongue, ready to be hurled at any moment. There's no hesitation holding me back when I fling it at him. That straight face he keeps as I do so doesn't help my temper or my anger either. It only makes me want to slap some more sense into him.
Shouldn't I be the one asking you that?
Becca, I've been waiting here the whole time since that mess in the hall. I told you I hate parties like...
And before that, where have you been the entire evening?
Right then and there, I might have forgiven him if he showed some ounce of remorse for leaving me like that. Maybe he could have looked away, given me a sign that my assumptions might be right. He doesn't even need to put them into words. A single gesture confirmation is all I need. Rather, when I get the same impassive look. He does that whenever he can't dissolve anything. He does that whenever he's lying. In the face of it, amidst the thick tension, a frustrated huff is the only thing I can summon.
Be that way. Fine. Suit yourself.
No more words. After everything I've seen and heard tonight, I'm already too exhausted for those. So without speaking any further, I simply walk past him and stomp over his car. Although, before I can pull open the door, he calls out, one hand overstretched, a gentle weight on my shoulders.
Wait, Becca.
He pauses, his brows furrowing and lips curving into a slight frown. I can almost see the gears turning in his head while he tries to piece together everything he wants to say. Before, perhaps, I might have waited patiently for those. He's not a man fond of using words to express himself. More often than not, any gesture of honesty will only come out blunt and coarse when forced. But today, for one reason or another, I simply can't summon that forbearance.
Ashton, if you're just going to waste my time again...
Becca, listen. I don't know how else...
That much is obvious. Why don't you just take the whole bloody night? Go on. I can wait until next year. Better yet, why don't you just keep it all to yourself like you always do? It's not like...
Rebecca, will you hear me out first?
The science I can offer him, but whether I'll believe what he's about to say is still up for debate. A very long debate.
I honestly don't know how else to put this. I'm aware your parents have some kind of history with Hana Wright, and somehow you're friends with her. But you should stay away from these people for now. Especially the husband.
Who? Luke?
His expression deepens into a scowl at my mention of the name, but whatever opinion he has, he doesn't immediately voice. Still, something about it has greatly displeased him, evident in the stiff note his tune assumes.
Yeah, he's bad news.
It's my turn to follow this time. What does he mean by that?
Care to explain your reasons?
It's not meant for it to sound as harsh as it does, but anger and frustration have never been a good match in me, particularly in nights like this. It's not surprising when Ashton jerks back as if I've struck him. For a fleeting moment, something akin to hurt darts across his features, his eyes narrowing and hands closing in tightly into fists at his sides. Then swiftly he glances away and shifts his focus on the line of trees nearby, like an answer can be gleaned from the dark expanse.
I'm really sorry, Becca.
What is it for? For the party? The vague answers he continues to give? Does it include all those times before this, the years worth of it? I don't doubt its sincerity. However, at the moment, the forgiveness he's asking isn't something I'm all too willing to hand, fierce as I am. It's frankly a wonder how I can keep myself from raising my voice at him.
We'll talk about this tomorrow. And you better have a proper answer for me by then.
There's a brief hesitation before I step away. A short moment of wanting to say more, of waiting if he has anything to add. He's only silent, eyes still trained at a distance. Is it the last glimpse I see of him before I climb inside his car? If the door slams close with the same force as the anger I'm holding, it sounds merely vanishes into the night unnoticed. follow soon after, and shortly we're on our way back to the city. Yet even the city's bright lights welcome us. The dense, somber air from the mansion still lingers. The moon is almost at its highest by the time we reach Salem Well. Even after our respective heads have cooled off, the atmosphere within the car remains rife with unspoken tension. This isn't a problem so easily fixed with a few handshakes. Quite frankly, I don't know what will. Ashton himself has no idea what to do when he alights and dawdles awkwardly in the middle of the car park on shore. It almost seems like he's having an internal debate whether he should say goodbye or mutter another apology. I could have driven him away purely out of spite the second I've gotten off. Still, old habits die hard. It's late and Ashton's flat is on the other side of the city. Irritation might still rear its head every time I look at him right now, but I'm not too cruel to put him up on another long drive, especially when he still appears as if he hasn't gotten any rest.
You can borrow the couch.
I threw the keys to my flat his way before I protest forms on his lips. Although he catches it with ease, he eyes it with a wary expression and shoots a puzzled glance my
You
way.
haven't been forgiven. We're still going to have that talk, believe me. But I'm not about to send you out on another drive looking like that. It's late. Go get some rest.
We're setting aside a lot of loose ends like this, but he appears to have accepted that reason, at least in the meantime. He does give me another questioning glance when I shove past him, pulling my mobile in the process.
Where are you going? I thought...
You go ahead upstairs. I need to contact Professor Andrew.
Andrew? Why would you... Oh, no. Please. Is this that thing Isabella said this morning? Again? I already gave her my word, Becca. I'll look into this BRC crap. No need to drag the old guy into it.
Of course he's still skeptical. It makes one wonder if he's even seeing anything at all. Figures this curse will stay away from the scoffer. But this is another loose end tonight that I can't just leave alone. Ashton's beliefs notwithstanding. It just so happens that's when I can delve into using a means other than taking a look at the mansion itself.
Ashton, do you really think I still give a shite after that stunt you pulled tonight?
No, but this is...
I've spent so many years with him to know that this is about to turn into another argument. Before he can finish it, I cut him off with a firm raise of my hand.
Look, I don't care. There are weird things happening around here. And yes, it's Isabella's brand of weird, ghostly voices, strange sounds, and a bloody woman sitting at the back of my car. You don't have to believe me. And I no longer have the patience to convince you, so just leave me be, Ashton.
He doesn't push it, growing quiet instead, although I know he has a whole case of it prepared inside his head. I bet you he does. He usually does have a lot to say about everything. But there's a reluctant shift in his movement when he steps away from our conversation. Sort of climbing the stairs, he stops, turns to face me with an expression almost too conflicted.
Are you really sure?
What?
That there was something? That you've been, seeing things?
Yes, I'm very, very certain. Now go. And you better not break anything in there. The last time I let you stay over, it was that statuette Belle gave me. You haven't even replaced that one.
Fair. The last of my reprimand goes unheard, both unheard and unanswered, as he disappears behind the stairs. If things aren't as strained, he might have a quip or two about that, followed by light banter. Instead, for a long moment, I am left staring after him. There is something in the way he asked it that nags. Coupled with his expression, the whole exchange just feels unsettling. One that doesn't fade even as I gather my thoughts and shift my focus on another. Even as I dial Professor Andrew's number. And this is when it clicks. During the long wait for the professor, one stray thought emerges from the unease. Ashton is not intended for his question to be a jibe. It's concern. For what, though? For my well-being? The latest curse? The woman I mentioned? The answers for those will have to wait, however. Finally, the call connects and Professor Andrew's voice echoes from the receiver.
Professor Andrew?
Rebecca? It's late. What can I do for you?
Loki kinda sounds like Freddy in FNAF Security Breach.
I know, I'm sorry, but This is a bit urgent.
After all, this is a more pressing matter. I know, Isabella... Okay, everybody in the story has a British accent besides... No, actually, there's, like, the Wrights, Rebecca, the Wrights' niece, most of them don't actually have British accents, but they're in... Okay. Our lives might be at stake and we're still in the dark.
Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you to do me a favor. ...
October 30th, Sunday. Professor Andrew Clark has agreed to meet with me 2 days later in front of the Luxbourne Public Library. He has other commitments, but being a longtime family friend has its perks. I have my parents' connections, so thank me for that. Of course, I'm not the sort to impose on him often, but the situation is... Well, it's not entirely bad, though it does require calling in a few favors from friends like him. Without his signature, I won't be able to gain access to the library's restricted section. If I want to get more in-depth information on the Ermengarde Mansion, that is, not simply what they choose to show on the general public. As much as I hate to admit it, there's always something people censor, and whatever it is, I won't ever find it in the general section. It has to be what they're keeping here, beyond the public eye. The thought of that alone makes me antsy. Thankfully, I don't have to brood over it. The wait for the professor doesn't last long. He never did enjoy making people wait. Likewise, he dislikes people who are tardy. He arrives 5 minutes after I do, greeting me with that kind smile and casual wave of his hand. I haven't seen him so long, but it appears he hasn't changed much. His familiar presence alone is enough for a fond smile to spread across my face.
Professor Andrew.
Rebecca, didn't I say long ago you can drop the professor?
You know I can't possibly do that, even if I can. It feels disrespectful to call you by your name alone.
Both you and Ashton never listen to this old man. Kids these days.
All right, but just for today, since you're doing me a huge favor, Andrew.
I guess you simply can't have it all, even at this old age. But pleasantries aren't what we're here for, yes? You mentioned you needed a permit.
Yes, sir, if that's okay with you.
More than fine. Anything in pursuit of knowledge, as they say.
He hands me the permit without further prompting. And just like he promised, he also written a recommendation after his signature. Let's see. Visitor signature. This is much more than enough to get me to those files. I mutter a small thanks before slipping it into my pocket. Although when I look back up his browser for the very face of curiosity. Not surprising considering how vague I've been during our little talk over the phone. Right then and there, I've decided to tell him if he ever asks, maybe not at all of it, but the stuff he needs to know. It's the least I can do to thank him. As expected, true to his inquisitive nature, he asks.
If you don't mind, though, I know you've always been an eager learner, but may I know what in the restricted section that piqued your curiosity?
It's the Ermengarde Mansion, sir.
He's quick to raise an eyebrow at that, and for a while I fear he'll take the slip of paper back. Is there something in what I said?
The ones they have out in the general isn't enough?
I'm, hoping for a more in-depth read, sir. More about the history and the people who once lived there. The general section doesn't have anything much on that.
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly aren't the first one to be enamored with that place. It doesn't shock me. The architecture is and the urban legends are something to talk about.
I think enamored might be a little too much to describe our interest in it. But I have to agree. The mansion is beautiful, even with the renovations. They kept the stained glass windows, too. They are magnificent.
Oh, you've seen it.
I was there for a few hours to attend a housewarming party. The invitation was for my parents, but they couldn't make it. My mum used to work as a private tutor for the Evans. Hannah Wright?
Ah, I know of her. Her husband, too. Who doesn't? Luxborn's most popular couple.
Something falls behind his eyes. Yeah, the way he just said that makes it seem like he's not a big fan of the rights. Something falls behind his eyes. The warmth in them suddenly gone, like he's reliving a painful, distant memory and seeing it play right in front of him. It disappears almost as soon as it surfaces, but that look has unsettled something in me.
Is something the matter?
Probably.
Nothing much.
Okay.
But you know, you're already like a daughter to me. So if you could, do be careful with the friends you make.
You've heard it from Ash. Now you're hearing it from Andrew. Professor Andrew. So, take the advice. There is something about Luke that is sinister of some sort, and I don't know what.
Is this about the rights, sir?
Just a friendly advice from an old man. Don't think much about it.
Oh, that gives me chills. I don't know why. It's something about Luke. It's just the way he's acted since the very beginning, and then the woman, and then all that stuff. Aaron, are we not going to talk about how, like, Marianne has just completely gone missing? Like, she's nowhere to be found.
Anyway, I have to leave now. Can't miss my weekly serving of bear claws.
Fair enough.
Say hi to your parents at the detective inspector for me, will you? I wish you luck with all that research.
I will. Thanks for this, Andrew.
That's where I'm going to end today's video off. Yeah, that's where I'm going to end today's video off. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of The Letter. Let me just save game. Let me just load game. Alright, good. Let me just make sure it is saved. Great, wonderful. Alright, quit. Yes. Let me just double check, load game. It's all right there. Alrighty, guys. What is extras? Oh, okay. Anyways, guys. That's it. Bye-bye. Let me scroll up here. Hold on. I forgot where you end the video. I get rid of all these. There we go. Bye, guys.